Hi guys, it's Maddie and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an unsolved case that has been baffling police since 2008. This case is about the mysterious disappearance of a 22-year-old girl from an outer eastern suburb of Melbourne. Just a disclaimer that I mean absolutely no disrespect to anyone involved in this case. This is all just information that I found on the internet and I've collated into this video in hopes to find Sally. And on that note, let's jump into the case. Sally is said to be a beautiful girl with a contagious laugh, and she was a very trustworthy and caring person. Her high school friends said that when they first met her, she was a very timid person and she just kind of kept to herself. But once you got to know her and develop a relationship with her, she was like an extroverted butterfly. She made a lot of friends and people really liked Sally, and one of Sally's friends actually said it was impossible to find somebody who didn't like her. Sally also had a very strong interest in photography, and when she was walking through the corridors at school, she would be known to take candid photos of her classmates and people around the campus. Sally had a large family who she absolutely loved, and she was the oldest sister of 5 siblings and was very family orientated. As most big sisters do, she took on a lot of responsibility in the family and her parents relied on her for support. In early 2008, Sally had actually come back to Melbourne to live with her family after spending a year in China studying. Around the time that she returned, she was actually due to turn 23. Her parents' home was located in Oakley South on Moresby Street in the outer eastern suburbs of Melbourne. Unfortunately, not long after returning from her trip to China, Sally disappeared. The day of Sally's disappearance was just like any normal day for Sally and her family. She actually went and played tennis with her sister Helen, and nothing appeared to be out of the ordinary. That evening, Sally went to bed in her family home as she normally would. Her dad, Mr. Cheong, arrived home at around 10 p.m. on April 1st, 2008. He had just returned home on a business trip to Adelaide. When he got home, he settled in, had something to eat in the kitchen, and then about an hour later at 11 p.m. he went into Sally's bedroom. He had gone into Sally's room just to leave a set of keys to the family Tarago van on Sally's dressing table. While in the room, Sally's dad whispered Sally's name towards Sally to try and see if she was awake, but she didn't disturb at all, so he assumed that she was asleep and he left the room. During this time, between 10:30 and 11 p.m, Helen, Sally's sister, also heard Sally's phone ringing in her bedroom. It rang quite a few times, but it appeared that Sally didn't answer any of the phone calls. After 11 p.m, when Sally's dad went to bed, it appeared that the house was completely undisturbed and quiet until 3 a.m. on April the 2nd. Sally's 14-year-old sister Wendy was sharing her bedroom with her 17-year-old sister Anna, so we have Wendy and Anna sleeping in the same bedroom. Wendy was actually awake in the bedroom in the early hours of April the 2nd, messaging her boyfriend on her laptop. Just before 3 a.m, Wendy heard a noise in the hallway and she thought it was her mum, so she grabbed her laptop, quickly ran into her bed and closed the laptop and pretended to be asleep so she wouldn't get into any trouble. However, her mother never actually came into the room, and Wendy's door was slightly ajar so she could peek through a little gap in the doorway and she could see down the hallway and she could see someone standing outside Helen's room. Wendy then noticed this person move towards Sally's bedroom door and she thought that she heard this person mumble the word yeah. She couldn't see exactly who it was through the crack in her door, but she said the voice sounded like male, so she just assumed that it was Helen's boyfriend as he had come into the house multiple times in the early hours of the morning. Wendy then saw Helen walk down the hallway and she just assumed that she must be coming back from the toilet. Wendy then decided that she would try and go to sleep, and she assumes that she was probably asleep within half an hour, so around 3:30 a.m. The next morning, the Cheong family slowly started to wake up. Their father was the first to wake up at around 7:30 a.m. He opened up the door to come out of his room and he saw his BMW keys as well as his keys to his Asian wholesale food business on the floor just outside his bedroom door. He just assumed that Sally must have put them there for him as she had recently been driving the BMW. Her father then left and went to work at their family business in Keysborough, which is about a 15 to 20 minute drive from their home. Once their father arrived at work, he realized that he didn't have his mobile phone with him and he must have left it at home, so he used the work phone to call his home phone, and Andrew, his son, answered the phone. He asked his son Andrew to pass on a message to Sally to bring the mobile phone in when she came into work because she also worked at the family business in Keysborough. Andrew walked around the house trying to find Sally, but he couldn't find her, so he just presumed that she'd probably already left for work, so he grabbed the mobile phone and gave it to his other sister Anna. At around 10 a.m, Anna messaged their other sister Helen and asked Helen if she knew where Sally was. And Helen said she didn't really know, but if no one knew where she was, she must be with her boyfriend and that she would try and get in contact with them and let Anna know. Helen tried to contact Sally's boyfriend but didn't actually get hold of him until a couple of hours later at 1 p.m. And at that time, Sally's boyfriend said that he wasn't with Sally, nor did he know where Sally was. This was quite alarming as everyone had just assumed that he would know where she was, and so the family started to worry. Sally's family then checked her Facebook page to try and find any clues on where Sally may be. They also contacted Sally's friends, and when they weren't getting any answers, they started to get concerned. From there, they logged onto Sally's computer at the home and tried to find any information on where she might be, but nothing was giving them any leads at all. So they decided to get into the car and drive around the neighborhood to look for Sally. By this point, Sally's family was extremely desperate to find her because it was just really strange and they couldn't find her driving around the streets, and it was just becoming a really frantic scene. By that evening, the 2nd of April 2008, Sally's family decided to contact police and ask for assistance as well as report her missing. At that point, the police told Sally's family that they actually have a 24-hour policy for missing people, and Sally hadn't been missing for long enough yet to report her officially missing. That night, Sally's family returned home, and I can't even imagine what they were feeling going into that house, knowing Sally wasn't there, not knowing where she was, not knowing if she was coming home, and like trying to sleep. Like, I don't even know if they attempted to sleep. It's just sickening to think, but they went through that whole night. Sally didn't return home, so they went to the police station the next day on April the 3rd and reported her missing. This time, police actually listened to Sally's family's concerns and started looking into any clues on where the 22-year-old Sally may be. While investigating, police found out that the last time Sally used her phone was on April 1st, which was the last time her family saw her. It appeared that she had not used her phone since, nor had she accessed any of her bank accounts since. Police also discovered that some of Sally's personal items were missing from her bedroom, and this included her keys, wallet, iPod, and a blanket that she'd had since she was a baby, and she was very attached to this blanket. From there, police started to believe that Sally had left home on April the 2nd with the unidentified male that her sister had seen in the hallway, and they were unsure if she left willingly or unwillingly. Sally did in fact leave behind her passport and her car. Sally's sister Helen thought it was really odd that Sally took her favourite blanket with her because it was just really old, really worn, really used, it was all tattered, and she'd had it for such a long time, so she assumed that if Sally took it with her, then Sally must have known that she wasn't going to be coming back. As we previously spoke about, Sally had just come back from a 1-year trip to China, and it is believed that at this point, Sally didn't really know what she wanted to do with her life. She was confused about her career, as most people are at 22 years old, and she had studied computer science but had struggled to find a job in that field, so she was just a bit lost and didn't really know which direction to go. Because she was in a bit of a limbo situation, she was helping her mum and dad at their family business, but there was no indication that she wanted to do this long term, and it was kind of just something that she was doing to fill in the time. Helen, Sally's sister, said that when she came back from China, Sally was just a bit different. She had a lot of Chinese friends as she was a bit of a social butterfly, and she also knew how to speak Chinese quite fluently upon returning back to Melbourne. According to Helen, Sally was wanting more freedom, and after they finished playing tennis one day, Sally had actually turned to Helen and said, "Don't you just want to get out?" Helen found this quite strange and unusual for her sister, as she was always someone that just had a stable boyfriend, followed family traditions, and just helped and supported her family, so it was odd that she was wanting to get out. She appeared to be switching her mindset to more of a free spirit sort of mindset and was just wanting to do her own thing. 5 years after Sally disappeared, it came to light that Sally had sent an odd email to a male friend around the time that she disappeared. The email was sent to an unidentified male on March 3rd, 2008, which was less than a month before Sally disappeared, and I'm just going to read out to you what the email said. It said, "I think I know what you are doing. I'm afraid you gun me down or get angry," which indicated that Sally was fearing for her life. This male was then brought in for questioning by police and did a polygraph test, and he also had an alibi for the time that Sally disappeared, so the police concluded that he had no involvement in the disappearance and wasn't a person of interest at all. Sally's friends expressed that they were concerned that Sally had such a caring nature, and due to this, she may have crossed paths with the wrong kind of people and just didn't suspect anything wrong. In 2012 and 2013, police reinvestigated Sally's case, and they went all around Australia asking people if they knew where Sally was or any information about her disappearance at all, but they uncovered absolutely no leads. All attempts to find Sally have failed, and no trace of her or her body have ever been found. Police have no idea what happened to her. She could have been murdered on purpose or even by accident. She could have ended her own life. She could have run away. She may have even been abducted. No one really knows, and this is obviously gut-wrenching for Sally's family. According to Helen, after Sally's disappearance, the family don't really like to talk about it. They instead try to carry on with their lives like nothing really happened. At surface level, they all try to appear to be okay, but deep down they're hurting. And Sally sometimes tells people that she's one of 4 siblings instead of one of 5, because it's just easier than telling people the story of how Sally disappeared. Sally's parents often get quite upset when they see pictures of Sally. At Helen's wedding, she had a picture of Sally displayed, and it brought her father to tears. Her parents sometimes go to China, and while there they speak to tarot card readers and psychics to try and get some answers. She looks back and thinks that maybe she let Sally take on too many responsibilities and didn't really tell her that she appreciated her enough, and she hopes that she can see Sally again sometime soon to tell her that she loves her and that she appreciates her, and be able to tell her everything that she didn't. As it currently stands, police are basically at square one, and they have absolutely no indication or leads on what happened to Sally. They hope that someone in the community may have information to help progress the case, so if you have any information, no matter how small, I'll leave in the description the contact for Crime Stoppers and Victoria Police, so you can let them know there, and hopefully we can bring Sally home together. And that is all we have on today's case, guys. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to keep seeing more videos like this one. Bye, guys.